Welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a quick, what can I call this? This is going to be a quick check-in just for myself and whoever else will be watching this and might find this beneficial. I don't know how, because I'm basically going to be trying to offload. So yeah, let me just get into it. Okay, so I just really wanted to come on here and kind of express myself because I feel I struggle quite a lot to be vulnerable with the people around me and especially those closest to me, because I feel always that I don't want to burden people with my problems. So I think this year has kind of been weird for me. I don't want to say it's been challenging or hard, but it's been a weird year for me because I've just been feeling like I'm struggling to kind of find my purpose. And not that I'm actively looking for one or looking for my purpose, but just not being sure where God really wants to place me. And I know that every season of your life has a reason, and we interact with people, you come across people for a reason. And I know that I'm being taught or I'm being shown certain things about myself that I probably need to work on by interacting and going through certain things. So that's just, I think, that's just what's been a real struggle for me this year. And I find myself going through like dips of anxiety and depressive episodes because I'm struggling to kind of connect. And when I say I'm struggling to connect, not necessarily with my spiritual side, more so struggling to connect with human beings on a deeper level. I don't know if that's a me problem or I'm just overthinking things. Oh, don't be alarmed by this. I've been breaking my wrist, child. Every night I've been sleeping in weird positions, so my wrist is like painful. Anyway, yeah, I've been struggling to kind of find a comfortable place when it comes to opening up and expressing myself to people, because I don't know if I'm scared to be hurt. I'm definitely scared of being hurt because I've been hurt before by human beings. And I'm the type of person that overshares myself. So what that means is I give more of myself. And I think this is a toxic trait. I give more of myself with the hopes in my head, with the hopes that it will be reciprocated in any way, shape, or form, just as long as it's reciprocated. So I think that for me has been something that I'm aware of, and that's something that I know that I should probably work on because we can't really put that on the next person, you know? And that's also just putting yourself in a victim mindset, which I don't want. And I'm just realizing that that's something that that's one of the things that I have to work on. And I've kind of isolated myself purposefully, might I add. I've isolated myself from a lot of human interaction. And let me tell you, working from home has been such a blessing, because then I don't have to pretend that I'm always okay when I'm really not. I can just be in this environment of mine, in these four walls, and feel however I feel, and not feel bad for transferring any negative energy to anyone. I can literally be in my feelings, and not feel like I have to act like I'm okay, or like I'm happy. So I guess this is just me realizing that I'm exhausted emotionally. I don't want to say spiritually, because I think God has been with me through it all, and God speaks to me in the most amazing ways. And I feel like each time I feel this way, I always run back to Him, and I can feel some sort of comfort knowing that He's the only one, literally. He's the only one and only thing that is consistent in my life. Try not to get choked up. The only one and the only thing that has been consistent in my life. And I feel my relationship with God is so much stronger, because I can be going through something. Last week, actually, nobody knows this but the one person that I told. Last week, I was driving. I don't know where I was going. I don't remember where I was going, but I had a mental breakdown in my car driving to this place. And I was screaming and crying in my car. I think people thought I was losing my mind, to the point where, and this, like, I'm so ashamed to even say this, to the point where I almost caused an accident, because I was so, like, I had a panic attack, and then I started having a mental breakdown, and I was just screaming and praying hysterically and crying hysterically. And I had to kind of pull over and gather myself, because after almost causing an accident, because I wasn't aware of the roads and whatnot, I had to pull myself together, because I was like, this was my thinking in that moment. I was like, I need to get myself together, because I'm not trying to take anybody out of this world because of my own shit. Because of my own shit. And even that for me was like, Jesus. That was also just like something that went off in my head. And then I was fine after that. Like, I gathered myself, and I guess purging those emotions and crying kind of helped me, and I felt better. But I prayed and I cried and I screamed at God. And I had that conversation with Him, and I just shared all my frustrations when it comes to my everyday existence, me having to exist every day. And I told the person, like, I expressed to the person that I confided in, that I'm so grateful that I'm in a place in my life where I'm spiritually strong, because, okay, let me not get into any of that, but I always find myself going back to my Bible, just looking for what God has to say back about what I said to Him. And sure enough, He always answers. And today I ran, and this is how I get my answers. This is how amazing God is. I don't feel like this is a coincidence, or it's like I open my Bible randomly and I read a scripture. I know, and it would be directly for me. Like, it would be directed at me and for whatever situation that I might be going through. And that's why I'm saying, like, God has been the only constant, the only consistent thing in my life. Okay, so I just want to share the scripture that I found when I opened my Bible today. It's from the book of Psalms, chapter 77, verses 1 to 14, and it reads, I cried out to God for help. I cried out to God to hear me. When I was in distress, I sought the Lord. At night, I stretched out in untiring hands, and I would not be comforted. I remembered you, God, and I groaned. I meditated, and my spirit grew faint. You kept my eyes from closing. I was too troubled to speak. I thought about the former days, the years of long ago. I remembered my songs in the night. My heart meditated and my spirit asked, will the Lord reject forever? Will he ever show his favor again? Has his unfailing love vanished forever? Has his promise failed for all time? Has God forgotten to be merciful? Has he in anger withheld his compassion? When I thought, to this I will appeal, the years when the Most High stretched out his hand, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will consider all your works and meditate on all your mighty deeds. Your ways, God, are holy. What God is greater as our God? What God is great as our God? You are the God who performs miracles. You display power among the people. It hasn't been easy, and I hate to feel like I'm a burden for people, so I withdraw myself and I kind of just deal with things by myself. Nobody knows apart from the one or two people that I really just tell everything to. So I just really wanted to come on here and say that maybe I should start journaling again, because I haven't done that in a while, and try and really try and get back to feeling emotionally healthy again. And with situations I feel I have no control over, I think that's what gives me the most anxiety, when I feel like I can't control a situation, and however it pans out affects me. It really does. So I just need to kind of give that to God, because I don't have solutions right now. I really don't have solutions. So with me not having control over certain things, that's just something I'm gonna have to do, is just pray over that and pray over those things and believe and have faith that God will make a way. So I don't completely feel hopeless. I really don't. Like, I'd be lying if I came on here and told myself and whoever's watching that I feel completely hopeless and sad. No, I don't. Today was just one of those days where I really felt like, okay, I need to speak. I need to vocalize whatever it is that's been in my head, in my heart. So this is my way of doing it, because I feel like I really can't speak to those around me. So I say so a lot, but anyway, I know it's gonna get better, because of the simple fact that God has my back, and he's had my back forever. Even in situations where I didn't feel, let me not cry. Okay. Even in situations where I felt like he wasn't there, but he really was. So that's the string I'm holding on to. That's the straw. That's the straw I'm holding on to, just knowing. And I know this from the deepest part of my heart, that God is going to make a way. God is going to make a way for me. And it's okay for me to feel how I feel sometimes, because I'm only human. And because I'm just built the way that I'm built, and I'm not the type of person to be out here expressing myself and like trying to tell people what my problems are and trying to confront certain situations. I'm not a confrontational person. So I just keep things to myself and I bottle them up, and they eat me, like they eat at me. So right now, I'm just not even going to try and change that about myself, because I wouldn't know where to start and how, you know. That would be out of character for me, and that would take me out of my comfort zone. It's just a matter of really staying in prayer and really trusting that God is going to make a way. I keep saying that because I really believe it. And I hope whoever's watching this, whatever you might be going through, we might not be going through the same things, but just know that God is going to make a way, and pray for the strength to see yet another day, to go through yet another day, and acknowledge the times where you don't feel okay, because you're only human. You're going to go through the downs as much as you go through the ups, and that's just how life works. And don't beat yourself up. This is me telling myself, and whoever this may concern, don't beat yourself up about anything, because everything that is happening right now is part of the plan. And we might not realize or see the lesson right now, but it'll all make sense in God's timing. When the time is right, you'll look back at this moment and realize that, okay, this period of my life, this season of my life was necessary for me to get to the next level and be able to fully grasp, fully embrace the blessing. When you can look back and say, yo, God pulled me through that situation, and I am where I am today because I can look back and think of the grace of God and how great He is and how present He is. So that's just my little video. I don't want this to be too long, and I also don't want this to be negative. That's why I'm just reiterating the fact that all things work together for the good. All things work together for the good. And by all things, even the stuff that sucks. Literally, that's what that saying means. Everything that is being orchestrated right now in your life, every moment that you'll go through, every mistake that you'll make. And I say mistake because mistakes are just literally vices for you to learn whatever lesson you need to learn. And do not stay in that. Don't stay in that moment of dwelling in a mistake when you can move on. Find whatever the lesson is and move on. So yeah, until next time. Oh, another thing I wanted to say that I'm excited about. I'll be going home this weekend for the long weekend. And by home, I mean back to KZN, back to my grandmother's home. And I always feel like these kind of situations happen in the right timing when my spirit feels low. I can just go back home to my grandmother's house and feel her spirit around me. My grandmother passed away But whenever I'm back home, it's just like something about being in that house brings back everything that feels warm and fuzzy in my life. When I've been feeling like I don't get that comfort around me because I've got, or I put off this hard exterior and like I don't need the love and I don't need the affection, when I actually really do. But when I'm home, I feel it, and I feel her presence around me. I get to sleep in her room and just feel so loved, because I'm so blessed and I'm so fortunate because my family is such a tight-knit family. And whenever I'm home, it really does feel like home. So that is something that I'm excited about, and I believe that was also God's blessing, because this is something that was planned but it kept being put off. So I think maybe this is the perfect time for me to go back home and really just feel and rejuvenate myself in that way and feel her presence around me and kind of go outside. Go outside and maybe I'll vlog it. I don't know. And go outside and sit under the tree opposite the house and just feel the breeze and know that everything is going to be okay. So I'm gonna just leave that here and have yourself a good night.